Hi and welcome to this short video. I hope it's of interest to some people. It's a recipe that I use quite a lot, perhaps 2-3 times a fortnight, and I was thinking that the ingredients are such that it could be used as a vegan meal. So I thought I'd do a short video just showing exactly what I do. Right, need an onion, pepper, some tomatoes, plum tomatoes I use, mushrooms, and you need rosemary, salt, pepper, all the seasoning, and oil to put in the pan to start with. So we'll do that now. We put the oil in the better in a non-stick frying pan. Put that on the heat while we chop our onion. One thing you've got to make sure when you're cooking anything, make sure your hands are clean and everything else is clean. So here we go. Whether anybody else chops their onions like I do, I don't know. There are different ways, I suppose. I never use the centre of an onion for some reason. I don't know why that is, but the first job is to peel them anyway. Get all the skin off. And the onions at the moment are quite small, but still enough for one person anyway. And actually, if you're making this for two people, then 2 onions, 2 peppers, and they'd use all the mushrooms, whereas for just myself I just use half, and then the other half is used either next day or day after with either this again or with something else. Okay, so now we chop the onions. Some people say if you run an onion under the water first, then it stops the crying effect. But these smaller ones don't seem to be as strong. They're not bothering me at the moment anyway. As I said, I always chop round the centre and throw the centre away. I don't know why I do that, but there you go. It just doesn't look right to me, but I slice them all this way, right down to the core, and then I'm not using it anyway if it's been on the floor. The core goes in the bin, out the way. Then I'll proceed to chop them, slice them, chop them sideways, whatever. Just checking the oil to make sure it's not getting too hot. It is on full because you do want the oil very hot to start with. I like to have the onions cut into very small pieces, not just slices. Nearly there, nearly all done. I must get an onion slicer. I do use a lot of onions. Make the job much easier, I expect. near enough done now. So I'll turn the camera around a bit so as you can see the pan and see it probably smoking slightly, very hot. And in go the onions. I say this is recipe is suitable for vegans, vegetarians, but you can add other stuff, you know, to taste really. This is how I have it, but you could put some meat product in if you're not a vegan, vegetarian. Even if you're a vegan, there's suppose of stuff, corn stuff you could perhaps put in if need be, but this is always enough for me, and it tastes very nice when it's done. So we've got the pepper now. We're cut the top off where the seeds are because we don't want any seeds in. Just slicing down now to get the good bits out. There's a few good bits at the top there we can cut out. Just make sure there's no seeds. Right, and then we'll get that in the bin, and cut the pepper up now, the good pieces that we've got left. Nice small pieces again. Nearly there. Last piece. And into the pan these go. Mix in with the onions. Turn the heat back up. On the shake mix, make sure they're all mixed together. Get them all mixing and all cooking. Now we do the seasoning, salt, pepper, lots of pepper. And rosemary. I put quite a bit of rosemary in it. It really does add to the flavour. That's all the seasoning for now, and may put more in later. Stir it all in, blend it all in. Sure they're covering the bottom of the pan so they're cooking evenly. Next will be the mushrooms. You need to rinse these under the tap as you cutting them. No need to cut them very small, they do cook quite easily. I'll probably use about half the punnet because it's quite a big punnet. Half the punnet, and then the other half will do for another meal. But again, if you're cooking for two, then you would probably use the full punnet. Couple more perhaps. Don't forget to rinse them under the tap before you cut them up. That should do us. Put them back in the fridge now for tomorrow. Hands washed again. Put the oil away, that's finished with, back in the cupboard. Stir everything together, get those mushrooms cooking. I wash the chopping board, it's not needed anymore. I use a mixture of washing up liquid and water in a spray bottle. Goes a lot further, and I find it very useful for washing dishes that way. Just run them under the tap, because unless you've got a big pile of dishes, then it's not worth filling the sink up. So we get your plate, or your 2 plates, depending. And this is where you now, if you're a vegan, you need some vegan cheese. It's not an essential part of the recipe, but I always have cheese. I'll say I'm not vegan, etc., so I use ordinary cheese. But if you are vegan, then you'll need your vegan cheese, and just make sure these are cooking properly first. Everything mixed in. Everything cooking evenly. Put the salt and pepper away now. They're and the rosemary, they're not needed. Goes with any dish, you season to taste. So if we get our cheese, whether it's vegan cheese, ordinary cheese, and get our clean knife. And what we need to do is get the cheese and make a thin layer over the centre of the plate. Just slice it thinly. You could use grated cheese. I usually do it myself because grated cheese costs more. My paper grating it when you can do it yourself. Sorry about that. Yeah, quite a bit of cheese to taste. Spread over the centre of the plate. Just a nice thin layer. So what happens, you pour your mixture over the top of that, and that blends in and melts the heat of it melts the cheese, adding to the flavour. Okay, and last to go in a pan, tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. I cut them in half and throw them in. that's more or less it. All we've got to do now is leave it cooking for 10 minutes or so till all the onions are brown. Everything's caramelised, everything's cooked. Takes round about 10 minutes or so. Mix everything in, mix it all together. Let that cook for 10 minutes or so. Okay, 10 minutes later, and here we are. It's all ready. Looking good. Smells good. Oh, yes. Very nice. Cook it off. And here we are, we pour it all, scrape it all, put it all over the cheese so that it's covering the cheese, and the heat from the mixture melts the cheese and blends in. Oh, yes. Don't lose any. There we are. Let's have a taste. Oh yes, superb. Brilliant. It's a lovely, lovely meal. But it's not for little dogs, I'm afraid. No, you can smell it, can't you? Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. You can join my channel. I've got videos coming out every couple of days or so. And thank you for watching. Bye.